Welcome to our walkthrough game of Warcry. We will go through each step and show you how the game plays, and hopefully this is helpful and that you enjoy this. Let's get started. First we assemble our warband, and this is the warband I've chosen for today. A warband has to include at least three fighters and cannot have any more than 15 fighters. The combined value cannot exceed 1,000 points. All the fighters from the warband must include the same faction rune mark. One fighter must have the leader rune mark, and only one fighter can have the leader rune mark. And this is the warband I've chosen for today. I have a leader here and then two others. These will be the fighters from the opposing warband. Once both players have determined their warband, then we make the priority roll. And so the Stormcast Eternals will have priority. Starting with the player who lost priority, players divide their warbands into three groups: the shield, the hammer, and the dagger. They will be hammer, shield, and dagger. And they will be hammer, shield, and dagger. The next step is to draw the terrain card. So we will set up that terrain now. Now that we have the terrain set up according to the card, then it is time to move on to deployment. The shield goes down first, 6 inches from the middle. The dagger and hammer both come in on round 2 on the table edges. So the player that won the priority roll earlier, so the Stormcast Eternals, will be able to choose which deployment colors will be used by who. So they are going to choose the blue deployment, and the Khorne Bloodkin will be using the red deployment. Both shields have been deployed, and now we move on to the victory deck. The victory condition for this one will be shock and awe. The player wins the battle as soon as every fighter in their opponent's dagger is taken down. At the end of the 4th battle round and each subsequent battle round, any dagger fighters within 4 inches of the battlefield edge immediately count as being taken down. The twist for today's match will be grudge match. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of attack actions made by fighters this battle that have a range characteristic of 3 or less. Now we start the battle, and each team rolls for initiative. With initiative, you take your matching die rolls. So the Stormcast Eternals got 2 doubles and 2 singles. And the Khorne Bloodkin got 2 triples. The player with the most singles has initiative, and they gain 1 wild die. Both gain 1 wild die, and the player with initiative gets to determine where to put that wild die, where they will use their wild die first. The Stormcast Eternals are going to save their wild die for later, and the Khorne Bloodkin will do the same. Then you compare singles again, and the winner will have it. After that, you clear off all the singles. You save the matches for later. the pairs or the doubles, triples, and quads. Then it is time for turn 1 to start. When it's a fighter's turn to activate, they can do 2 actions and 1 ability. The actions can be either different actions each time or the same action twice. The actions that they can do are move, attack, disengage, or wait. It's move. They move the move characteristic for their fighter card. Attack, they choose a weapon, choose a target, and roll the attacks characteristic of the weapon that they're using versus, and they roll that many dice, and then they use the strength of the weapon versus the toughness of the target to determine whether or not it is successful based on strength versus toughness chart on page 44 in the book. My Stormcast Eternal will going to do a double move towards the dagger, where the dagger will be coming in. So her move is 4. So she will do a double move and move 8. And she will move to here. The Chaos Bloodkin, well, the first one is going to do a double move towards the dagger, where the Stormcast dagger will come in. So he will move to there. And the other one will do a double move over to help where his boss will be coming in, and he'll move to there. And that is the end of turn 1. Nobody used their wild dice. Their wild dice will go into a pool that they will use in later rolls. And the initiative roll is made again. The Stormcast Eternals got 2 doubles and 2 singles again. And the Khorne Bloodkin got 1 double and 4 singles, so they have priority, or they have initiative, and they have 2 wild dice because they didn't use their wild dice last time, and they gain a new one each turn. And same with the Stormcast Eternals. The Chaos Bloodkin are going to save both of their wild dice and not use them. The Stormcast Eternals will make a triple and a triple, leaving the Stormcast Eternals with 2 singles and the Khorne Bloodkin with 4 singles. The Khorne Bloodkin should have initiative, but due to a mistake on my part, I gave the Stormcast Eternals initiative at this point. The rest of the fighters are placed on the table since it's the beginning of round 2. So the Stormcast Eternal shield or hammer will be placed up here. The hammer for the Bloodkin will be placed here. The dagger for the Bloodkin will be placed here. And the dagger for the Eternals will be placed here. The Stormcast Eternal leader is going to be the first one to go, and he is going to do his double Sigmarite Shield Bash. Until the end of the fighter's activation, the next time this fighter finishes a move action within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter and roll a die. On a 3 or 4, allocate 1 damage to the fighter. On a 5 or 6, a number of damage equal to the value of this ability. So, he's going to spend a 4 triple, because he's using a triple to be a double. He's going to move within 1 inch of this fighter. And then I will roll a die. And I got a 3. So 1 damage is allocated to this fighter. Then for his second action, he is going to attack. He has 4 attacks. They are strength 4, but because of the twist, the grudge match, they are now strength 5. And the toughness on the Chaos Bloodkin is 3, so he needs 3s to do 2 damage and 4s to do, and 6s to do 4 damage. So he will do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which will take down this fighter who already had 1 damage and has a wounds of 10. So he takes him down, and that is his activation. Then it moves to the Chaos Bloodkin's activation, and their leader is already within 1 inch of the fighter over there, and he is going to do Gore Fist. He's going to pick an enemy fighter. It's going to spend a double. And he's going to spend this 4 double, so that if he doesn't use any others, he can keep his both wild dice for next time. He picks a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch and rolls a dice. On a 3 or 4, allocate 1 damage point to the fighter. On a 5 or 6, allocate the number of damage points equal to this fighter's value. Allocate a number of damage points to the fighter equal to the value of this ability. So the value of this ability will be 4. I will roll a die. And I got a 3. 1 damage goes to the Stormcast Eternal that he is fighting over there. And they have 20, so they will be down to 19. Then he will do an action, and he will attack the Stormcast Eternal. He has 4 attacks. And they are at strength 4 normally, but strength 5 because of grudge match. And the Stormcast Eternal has a toughness 6, so he needs 5s to deal damage. 5s to deal 2 damage, 6s to deal 4 damage. So he does not deal any damage. Then it is the Stormcast Eternal's turn to fight. And that Stormcast Eternal that he just attacked will attack back. And they are going to do a shield bash as well. And they are going to spend the 6 that they have as their double for the shield bash. So I roll a die. And they got a 6. So with the shield bash, on a 5 or a 6, allocate the number of damage points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. So the leader will take 6 damage, so he has 25. He will be at 19. Then they will attack twice, and their weapon has two 2 hits at a strength of 5, which becomes 6. And the Chaos has a toughness 4, so I need 3s to do 2 damage and 4s and 6s to do 4 damage. So they will deal another 4 damage. So the Chaos Bloodkin leader will be at 15. Then they will attack again for their second action. And they will do another 4 damage. So the Chaos Bloodkin will be at 11 hit points left. This Chaos Bloodkin will do a double move. And they will move to there. This fighter here in the back will double move. They have a move of 4, so they will move 8. And they will move to there. Then these two will double move. They are the final ones to activate. And they have a move of 5, so they will move, double move to go 10. And that is the end of that phase. Then we roll for initiative. Or Stormcast Eternals got 2 doubles and 2 singles. And the Khorne Bloodkin got a triple, a double, and a single. Stormcast Eternals have initiative currently, and they will use their wild die to make another single. And the Khorne Bloodkin will now have 3 wild dice, and they will use them to make 3 singles, taking priority with 4. So they will use all of their wild dice. They've used all their wild dice. They have a pair of doubles, and they have a double and a triple. This Chaos Fighter here will act first, and he is going to attack the Stormcast Eternal. He has 4 attacks. They are Strength 3, but will become Strength 4. And Nest Eternal has a Strength 6, so he needs 5s and 6s to do damage. 5s will do 1 damage, 6s will be a critical and deal 3 damage. So 1 damage there. And he will attack again. And he will deal 3 damage. That Stormcast Eternal will activate. They will just attack twice. She has 2 attacks. And they are Strength 6 with the Grudge Match twist versus and this is going against the leader. So a toughness of 4, so 3s, 3 and up will do 2 damage, and 6s will be a critical at 4 damage. So 2 more damage, so he is down to 9, and then she will attack again. And 2 more damage, so he is at 7. Then he is going to spend his triple to do Gorefest. And he is going to spend the triple with the value of 4 and roll a die. And on a 3 or 4, so nothing happens. Then he will attack twice. So 4 attacks. Strength 5 versus toughness 6. So 5s and 6s. So he will deal 2 more damage. And 4 more damage. This fighter will double move to move 8, and then this fighter will move 5 and attack him. So they have 3 attacks at strength 5 versus toughness 5. So they need 4s or better. Fours to do 1 damage, 4 or better to do 1 damage, 6 will be a critical at 3 damage. Yeah. So 2 damage, so he will have 18 points left. Then the leader from the Stormcast will move, and they will move 8. And then this one will move 5. And not quite be in range to hit that fighter. Then we will roll initiative. This die is cocked. So they have 1 single, and they will get a wild. And they have 2 singles, and will get a wild. They will use their wild to bolster that. They will make this single, and they will make this into a quad. So this is the 4th battle round. If the leader on this side stays within 4 inches of the battlefield edge, they will go down, or they will be taken down, and the game will end. So they will need to move away from there, but it is the Stormcast Eternal's turn to fight first. And the guy here with the hammer will attack twice. He is going to do Lay Low, which is a double ability. Until the end of this fighter's activation, add 2 to the attacks and strength characteristic of attack action made by this fighter that have a range characteristic of 3 or less, and that target an enemy fighter with a wounds characteristic of 15 or more. The guy, he only has 7 wounds left, but he has a characteristic of 25. 5 times on his first attack, and he will have a strength of 7, so he will need 3s, which is good. He dealt 3 damage on the first set. Then his second attack, he will deal 9 damage, taking down that fighter, which means the Stormcast Eternals will win this shock and awe because a player wins the battle as soon as every fighter in their opponent's dagger is taken down. And he was the only one in the dagger, so as he is taking down, the Stormcast Eternals will win that match. So there's a simple walkthrough of a game of Warcry. Let me know if you have any questions or any comments on rules that I got wrong. I understand there are things that I didn't do that I could have done. I hope you enjoyed that, and in the description there will be links to Amazon so that you can have fun playing some Warcry.